Hey, everybody! It's me, Pastor Angie from Country Club United Methodist Church in the heart of Kansas City. We are located at the corner of 57th and Warnell in Kansas City. We are south of the plaza and north of Brookside, and we are making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. So welcome to Thursday Thoughts today. I'm so excited to see you and to hear from you. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments. I do have access to reply to you. So if you have questions or you just want to say hi or see you on Sunday, you can do that in the comments and I'll respond to you. And it's also on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I'll say hi to you there too. So I get access to both of them while I'm live in this fashion. So I had a hard time this week thinking about my Thursday thoughts because, well, one, it wasn't Thursday, and there are just so many things going on in the world. So yesterday, as I was trying to determine what they might be, I was talking to Bethany, who is our office administrator, and I was trying to think. I was like, well, what is it that I've been thinking about lately? And what I've been thinking about lately is how much I don't like fall because it leads to winter. The two seasons I like the most are summer because it's hot and I love the hot weather. And I like spring because that means that summer's on the way, right? So I started thinking, what can I say about my Thursday thoughts as far as the weather is concerned? And in the middle of talking to Bethany, all of a sudden I was like, well, you know what? Ecclesiastes uh, uh, chapter 3 talks a lot about seasons of life. And so I'm going to share that passage with you today. It comes from the book of Ecclesiastes. We believe that this is attributed to King Solomon because it's considered wisdom literature. So would you hear these words? It's going to be up on the screen there on the bottom so you can see it. And I'm going to read off to the side because that's where I have it. So would you hear these words? For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance. I want to stop for just a minute with this idea of killing and saying that there's a time for killing. We know in the Ten Commandments, the commandments that were given to Moses, there's a commandment that thou shalt not kill. And so I often struggle with this line here, a time to kill. But one of the things that you have to think about when you're reading the Bible is who is writing these scriptures. We do say that they are the inspired word of God, but that can also mean that people got it wrong when they were writing. I don't agree with this passage that there is a time to kill. For me, any type of killing, whether it's killing somebody in your mind with things that you think about them, I just don't think that's right. So just from my perspective as your pastor at Country Club United Methodist Church, this is not something that I would say that there's a time to kill. But there's definitely time to heal because there are ways in which we kill each other through not loving one another well. But let's continue with these following verses. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to turn away. A time to search and a time to quit searching. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be quiet and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Again, this is from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. This I got from the New Living Translation, which is kind of like a paraphrase, but also a little bit closer to the actual translation of the Greek. So I just wanted to share that with you today. And I was gonna have this kind of fun Thursday thought because I was thinking about the weather and how the fall and winter make me a little bit sad and a little bit morose, but I got to thinking about what's happening in our world right now. And last night we received the news that the 3 officers that were involved in the shooting of Breonna Taylor were not convicted. One was convicted of negligence, um, of shooting his gun in a bad way because it went into the neighbor's house. And last night, as I suspected, not riots, but protests erupted across the country. We did hear that there was a shooting in Louisville of 2 officers. And as I began to think about this passage, there is a time for everything. Now, I don't believe that there is a time for violence ever. Like, violence is never an answer. But there is a time for protesting. There is a time to listen to the world, to see where it is we're headed, where God is leading us. There is a time to come together as communities of faith, and not just sticking together with Christians, but with other faiths that are expounding upon peace and justice. Friends, I believe that we are in a time right now where we should be discerning what it is our role is as Christians. Sometimes the world wants us to just sit back and say nothing, and that we shouldn't be political. And I agree. I would never tell anybody in my congregation how to vote or different amendments that I think we should support. But there is something about being with people that make about. My internet went out for just a minute. Maybe that's God telling me something today. But there are ways in which we can speak truth to injustice, how we can be present in the world. We can be listening to people who have been harmed, who've been oppressed. We have an obligation, not just as Christians, but as Americans. A lot of people say that our Constitution and our country is founded on Christian values, and while there is some truth to that, there's other truth that how our nation came into being. But there are times when we need to gather together, a time to grieve with one another, a time to listen, a time to hear, a time to seek reconciliation, a time to heal with one another. And healing requires listening. Healing requires we come together and we search truth together. That we listen to people. And sometimes there are things in our society that aren't life-giving, and that we need to assess, reevaluate, discern together what needs to be dismantled and what needs to be mended and what needs to be reinstituted or instituted for the first time. So during this time, in this season of conflict, let us be a people who listen. Let us be a people who strive to love, who act first in love rather than react in discontent and in anger. Let's let God work through us so that we know how to be vessels, to be the present of God, to be the present of the peace of Jesus Christ that surpasses all understanding. I invite you to join me to discern where God is at work through all of this, to discern where it is that we need to act as we partner with Jesus Christ. Following Jesus is not a walk in the park, but I invite you to join me. I invite you to listen as we actively seek to build God's kingdom here on earth with his son, Jesus Christ, until he comes in final victory. And we commune with him, eat with him, and dance with him at his heavenly banquet. So folks, I'm so glad to be a part of this church. I hope that you allow these moments of my Thursday thoughts to resonate with you. You can disagree with me. I'm quite all right with that. But we're in this together. No church is an island. No person is an island. We are disciples of Jesus Christ. And we are working together to bring peace and justice to the world. So everyone, I thank you for joining me during this Thursday Thoughts. Again, our passage today came from Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. You can look those up. There's all kinds of translations for you to read. So I look forward to seeing you Sunday in worship at 10:45. This is the last Sunday that we are collecting socks, warm socks that we can give to the Veterans Association, to the Medical Center, as they help to supply our veterans who are homeless, experiencing homelessness, with socks to get them through the winter. There are a lot of things going on in the life of this church. I invite you to like our Facebook page, like our YouTube page, follow on our website, sign up for our newsletter. Lots of things going on as we seek to make new disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world, and more than anything, to help Jesus build his kingdom right here on earth. So I'll see you Sunday, 10:45, either in person or online, or I'll see you back here next Thursday at 12:15 for Thursday Thoughts. And stay tuned. I often do live videos during the week, just random, if I'm out on prayer walks or if I find something interesting. So I'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a great day. Peace be with you.